Hello and welcome to Slade on Slade. This is my beautiful wife Leslie and I am Keith. Today's video is learning to write for beginners. But on a very exciting
news today.
Yeah, I forgot the word news. I couldn't say the word news. That's how excited I am. This is now out. You can order it. You're most likely watching this in the future, so book 2 and 3 are probably out. But yes, I am now a published author.
Order it on Amazon. You can order Kindle. There's Apple. There's probably
It's on a whole bunch of different platforms.
Yeah. So go look it up. We'll put some links below so you can find it. So
I probably would have shaved this by the time you see this video.
So the first writing tip that they say is to read like a maniac.
Yep. Oh, I mean, not right away. I mean, most writers are in love with the craft itself, so you've read most of your life. That's what I would like to think. What about you?
Yeah. Well, if you read, then you figure out what you like.
Yeah, because you understand the styles and you understand this, that, and you understand different things, the subtle nuances. Like when you do a scene change. I hate it, but I have to do it. You do it's a asterisk 3 times. And that indicates a scene change. Me personally, I like meanwhile. But the editor, Olivia says
that it is proper English.
Yeah, that's proper English to do the asterisks. So cut that shit out. Literally quoting that.
Okay, so the next thing is write catchy titles.
Well, it's not for everybody. I'm going to be honest. Me, all 5 of my books have a unique title that no one has ever done with a book. I had secondary titles. And The House of Ribbons wasn't the first title for my first book, but there were like 4 books for the first one I had picked, so I had narrowed it down because I want to be able to meet you in a coffee shop or an airport and be like, oh, blah blah blah, and then you're not going to remember my name or you're not going to remember the title of the book, but you'll remember one or the other. So if you remember Keith Slade, you're going to be able to look up, you're like, oh yeah, Google, boom, Wikipedia page come up. And or if you remember The House of Ribbons, it comes up one book when you title something like The House of Dreams, I guess. And if there's 15 books there, that person doesn't remember your name. You got a 1 in 15 chance they're gonna buy your book. So try to set yourself apart from the herd. And like I said, it's just my advice. Go with what you ultimately want.
So the next thing is write for yourself.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't write these books for anybody else. I didn't go, I'm going to set out to make the next Harry Potter and the next Cujo. And none of that. I wrote my story because I liked my story. This is a story that I had been campfire telling parts of the story for 20 years. Anybody who's been on a deployment with me, if you're watching, you go, yeah, I remember you tell these stories. I wrapped that up into a book. I took characters from different little stories and but these are my stories. These are the stories that I enjoyed. These are the things that kept me up at night or I've dreamt about. So write what you want. You're a reader. Write what you want to read. Because if you like something, it's guaranteed going to be a few people out there.
Yes.
Get into a writing community too, a couple of them. That also helps too.
Become a great storyteller.
Now, I don't really like that one because what's the definition of a great storyteller? I mean, when you rise to the level of Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, and Anne Rice, they're great storytellers, okay? But what I think is you want to be able to verbally tell the story. First off, you want to sell yourself, okay? If you sell yourself, people are going to invest in your writings. But if you can tell a good story, you keep somebody's audience more than 20 minutes, you're going to be able to write it down. Just don't doubt yourself.
And then understand your audience.
Yeah. If you're going to write a mystery, well, there's obviously an audience out there that loves mystery. And if there's no mystery in it, you fucked it. So, understand the audience and make sure you play to that.
And then make your reader feel something.
Yeah,
They have to be invested in the book.
Yeah. Look, if you can write something that impacts you emotionally on some level and it makes you cry, and then 4 months later you read that and it still chokes you up, it will choke somebody up. Can I guarantee that? It might not reach your audience. But if you sell 100 books, you're going to choke up 5 people. They're going to be emotionally invested. That means they're going to want to talk about your book. They're going to want to talk about your characters. They're going to want to talk about who you are.
And then the next one is explore the internet.
Yeah. The internet is not all about cat videos and pornography. Weird, huh? That's so weird. No.
But you like Google names so that you
Yeah. All right.
make
So
sure that there's unique names.
one of my passions when it comes to writing is since I write science fiction, fantasy, mystery, horror, all that in one. I like to give people original names so that when you, as the customer, say that name out loud, you could be the first person outside of us to actually say the name. And I have 2-3 dozen characters that have unique names. And when I do that, I Google search the name. I make sure it's not like, oh, here's the name, but it's 2 letters different than a Star Wars character. No, I mean a name that has never graced the internet before. And I actually have kind of fallen in love with one of my characters, and she's got an amazing name. And it taken a little while, 2 or 3 minutes to craft her name, but there was no name in the world like her.
So the next one is to be consistent. So this is more of, if you're in one point of view, you need to stay in that point of view.
Okay. Watch the eyes. Jesus Christ. Olivia, I love Olivia. She's my head editor, but she's always like, dude, you got to cut this shit out. I like an omnipotent
But that's not
narrator.
what she's talking about. What she's talking about, and we'll get into this when we do the headline.
I talk and I'll say something, then all of a sudden I'll have the narrator shoot up and then he thought, blah, blah, blah. She's like, cut that shit out. You're not supposed to, because I jump around.
The narrator doesn't know what somebody else is thinking.
But my argument is, if it's an omnipotent, godlike narrator, they will. And she says, nope, you got to explain it because it's a show don't tell, and sometimes it's a tell don't show, and I'm just like, eye roll. I literally got a strain in my left eye because I was eye rolling one night so much.
So the next thing is to believe in yourself. So if you think you can do it, then you can do it.
What's the worst that can happen? My friend asked me the other day on the phone, he says, dude, what are you going to do if your book fails? I said, you can't. He said, it's not possible. There's always, he said, the possibility of it failing is out there. I said, no, it can't. I wrote a manuscript. I paid a good amount of money to have it professionally edited and published. It is now currently sitting in the hands of a few people. Oddly enough, my friend Jeremy Carr, what up, was the very first to post a photo of him holding the book, and he was one of my oldest, dearest friends. I love that guy. I know his family very well. But to see him get it first filled me with a great deal of accomplishment. Therefore, I can't fail. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody tell me the book sucks? Oh man, if 500 people read the book, 50 people are going to tell me to eat the book. And that's good. I welcome all this and that. So if you believe in yourself, okay, take it that step further. The biggest hurdle you're going to have is coming up with the ability to pretty much pony up editing stuff. But remember, if it ain't edited well and you shoot yourself in the foot, you could have the best. You could have the next Harry Potter series, but if it ain't edited well, you get tore up by a couple of critics, you're screwed. You shot yourself right in the foot.
And the last thing we have for you for beginner tips is to enjoy writing, because if you don't enjoy it, what's the point?
You're writing something you don't like. Hopefully you're getting paid for it. Ghostwriters, we are out there. The worst part is when you ghostwrite, you can't ever take credit for it. But if you're writing something you don't enjoy, it will translate to the page. If you're just writing for cash and you're blogging for cash or you're ghostwriting for cash, that's one thing. But if you love what you're writing, the reader can feel it. That's my belief.
So that is all we have for you today. So if you like our content, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button below. Also, to find out updates on the book.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you're going to want to buy this book. A, I'm told it's a good read. Okay?
Very good.
I'm told it's a good read. And I heard that the book helps you to achieve enlightenment. I can say that as a fact. I can quote that. You know why? Because I said that. And when I said it, I heard me say it. Therefore, I can quote myself saying I heard it. So remember, you heard it first because I said it, then you heard it because I heard it, and it's a thing. So that's number one. Number two, you got kids, booster seat. Okay? 3, we're kind of still in a pandemic. What if you got all these morons running around buying toilet paper again? In an event of an emergency, the book is made out of paper. I'm putting it out there. Just FYI, use the chapters you've already read because skip ahead, it's going to be a problem. And number 3, this is important. You could use it to defend yourself. Getting mugged, bam! Somebody breaking your house, bam! Okay, somebody breaking your house with a weapon, start reading it to them. Maybe, hopefully, hey, if they're breaking in your house, they're not going to be readers. You could bore them into just going, I don't want to rob you anymore because you're boring the life out of me, okay? And when they turn around, hit them with it, okay? So it can be used like a murder weapon. Disclaimer, I don't advocate murder, okay? Self-defense I do, though. So I've given you 4 reasons to buy this book. I'm going to give you a bonus one for free. You ready? It'd make a great gift for the reader in your life.
Okay, so
with that being said,
follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr.
Hit me up with any kind of questions. I love the questions.
And do not forget to go out and buy that book.
Yeah, listen, it's not just my book I'm asking you to buy, okay? Spend money, buy a book, okay? Help anybody out there who's writing, because the art of reading feels like it's dying, and most of us are still recovering from the pandemic. So a lot of us young writers, this is huge for us. So with that being said,
see you next time.